up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess. Thanks for clicking on today's video. Long time no see. I know I even have different color hair since the last time I made a video. But I thought I'd do a fun video for you today with both a recipe and then also kind of like the plans for my channel. I know I have not been posting regularly and all that stuff, and it's the same old, but with that same old, it also comes with the same old problems, meaning I don't put myself first. I've been so busy that I forgot about me and my needs and all that stuff. So things get away from you when you forget about yourself or you don't prioritize yourself. So I thought I would talk about that and tell you my plan and all of that jazz. So what do you say we get this video started? And real quick, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Element. Element electrolytes have been my absolute go-to favorite brand of electrolytes for many, many years now. One of the main reasons why I love Element electrolytes is because of the science-backed ratio of electrolytes. So each packet contains 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. In addition to that, they're gluten-free, they're sugar-free, no artificial flavors, fillers, colors, dyes, that kind of thing. Just a delicious and refreshing tasting electrolyte. So one of the other reasons that I love Element electrolyte is because my girls play travel softball or select softball. They play it at a very high level. Specifically, my daughter is a pitcher and a catcher. And when she's not there, she's on the corners. Either way, she's leading our team and she needs something in between games to keep those energy levels up, specifically since we sweat so much and she plays so hard and the physical exertion on her body. So she is a fan of the sparkling electrolytes by Element. So these are slightly different. They're a great refresher, another way to get your electrolytes in. So you're getting 500 milligrams of sodium, 100 milligrams of potassium, and 30 grams of magnesium, which comes in handy when you're a pitcher or a catcher. But I do want to say a quick shout out to my 12-year-old. She just turned 12 this past weekend. But she hit it over the fence this weekend. Super big mom brag. She's always been a big hitter. She's always known for 1 to 2 home runs per, tournament. But this was the first time she cleared it over the fence. So I am so excited for her. She is a powerhouse beast. She's awesome. So this particular weekend, she got 5 home runs. So it's like, oh my God, this kid. But she swears by Element. I swear by Element. My favorite flavor is watermelon and raspberry. My husband loves the citrus. My kid loves lemonade and pineapple salt. But don't take my word for it. You can get this free sample pack with any purchase. You can try all the popular flavors and find out which one you like. But you can get this sample pack for free with any purchase using my special link down below. You can use this link as many times as you want, but it's only available for the Keto Rewind community. So go to drinkelement.com/Keto Rewind and get your free sample pack with any purchase. Thanks, Element, for sponsoring this video.
One eternity later.
So I like to make these chicken and cheese quesadillas because it takes all of 3 seconds to assemble it. And I can make this while I'm gone. So I've got my trusty Crockpot right here. I'm gonna throw my chicken in there and some spices. I'm gonna bail, go get my stuff done for today, run my errands, take my kids to practice, pick them up from school, take them to their lessons, all that stuff. And when I come back, it'll be ready to throw it on the quesadilla and then just finish it off. And also, this is a high protein, low carb, keto option that is awesome to meal prep and just have on the go. So I'm gonna get 2 nights of dinners out of this. We have a family of 4, so I'm gonna make 8 servings. So I'll have today and tomorrow's dinner covered. So let me turn the camera around and show you what we're gonna do with the crock pot. First off, here is what you need for your taco seasoning. You can buy store-bought taco seasoning, but I'm really cheap. A lot of them have gluten in them. My husband can't do gluten, so I'll make my own taco seasoning. I actually keep it on my pantry door, this written out, so I make it so much. For every pound of meat, whether it be chicken or beef, for every pound of meat, you're gonna do this recipe. So if you're using 2 pounds of of meat, you'll just double this. Okay, so I ended up putting 4 chicken breasts. I know it shows 3 here, but I measured it out and I needed the 4th one to get 2 pounds. So in the end, I threw an extra one. You just don't see it. But I did coat the bottom of my crock pot with some avocado spray. And then I put the cover on the crock pot and cooked it for 4 hours on high. In the miracle of time, it's been 4 hours, and I just took one of these meat smasher things and I just pulled my chicken. You can be as fancy as you want, but it just takes 2 seconds to shred this chicken after it's been sitting in there for 4 hours. But once it's all shredded, I'm going to just put the next step in. So in a mixing bowl, I put 1 cup of cottage cheese. This isn't like an extra step. You don't have to blend it, but I like my cottage cheese blended. If my kids see the chunks, they start questioning things. So I always just blend it right in the jar. So I'm gonna put 1 cup of cottage cheese in my mixing bowl, and then I'm gonna do a cup of cheese, any type of cheese. I've made this one tonight, I'm using cheddar. Half the time I'll use Mexican, or I'll use, whatever flavor shredded cheese that I'm looking for. But this is cool about this recipe, you can mix it up. So then I just take my blender and then just blend it in a cup, and so that the chunks of the cottage cheese are just a smooth, regular looking cheese, and my kids have no clue. But it's a great way to add a lot of protein into such a simple, basic dish. So that's what it looks like when it's all done and blended. And next, all we're gonna do is mix the cheese blend into our chicken blend. So obviously I need 2 hands because it's way too thick, but look at that photobomber, always photobombing my videos. And then we're gonna give this a good mixy mix and until it's all incorporated. If you didn't need to eat this right away, you can just put the cover on and make sure it's on warm and just walk away. But for me, we're gonna make these right now and I'll show you what it'll look like. So once that's all mixed, that cheese will naturally just melt because it's nice and hot, so you don't have to reheat this anymore at this point. But if you're not gonna use it, just keep it warm. I'm gonna do a big heaping tablespoon of hatch chilies in there, but you can put as many or as none as you want. I've even thrown a can of Rotel in at this point. It's another way just to mix it up because I literally make this recipe like every week. But then I'm gonna mix this all together so that everything's incorporated, and then we're gonna assemble our quesadilla. Whoa. In a fry pan, I put the quesadilla, a low carb wrap, I should say, in the pan, and then I put the chicken mixture on top and toasted it, folded over, and then here's the finished product. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but they were so good, and this recipe was, my kids were asking for more. So and you can make these as big or as small as you want, judging on your size of tortilla. I liked about the medium size. I want to say it was like 6 inches in diameter, but they've got bigger ones that you can even make this into a burrito, that kind of thing. But just make sure it's a low carb wrap and you're good to go. So that is my delicious dinner. I kept half of this recipe for tomorrow, and then that makes dinner for tomorrow taken care of, and it's just so easy. So that was what dinner is. So now let's head on upstairs and let's talk about the future of Keto Rewind. Alrighty, so it is time we get down to business and talk about the good stuff. First of all, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. This is just me and my journey overcoming obesity. So at the end of the day, you do you, talk to your own doctor. This is just my story. I'm only an expert on what I've been doing and knowing what works and doesn't work. So as we approach the end of the year, it's the time where I reflect on the past year and I look forward to what we can do going forward. And I kind of give myself like a report card. And this year was just a flat out no. It was a bust. And in fact, so much is a bust that for the past, 6 weeks, my head's not even been in the game. I've not been dieting. I've not been doing anything. I've been surviving. My thought process for the remainder of this year and upcoming to the next portion of the year is getting back to the absolute basics. Back to the age-old change your story. If you don't like the way things are going, you're holding the pen, change it, and yes, it does sound so much easier when it's said like that than actually putting in the hard work, but that's basically it. If the only way out is through, so it's time for me to, step up. So that's my plan. Instead of dwelling on, I failed again this year, I didn't get to my goal weight, I didn't do all these things, I'm just gonna be like, whatever, we're moving on. There's no point in rehashing the past. I accept that I was not perfect. I accept that I had failures, but I'm not a quitter. So, and yeah, I've been doing this since February 2019. And yeah, I'm still not at my goal weight. So that does eat at me. And you know, then you add the stress of life and just everything. And it's just like, ugh, frustration. But what I can do is I can change my story. It's never over, it's never done. As long as I'm getting back up every time, it's not over yet. So that's the thought process for going forward. The next thing is, I thought because it's time to get back to basics, we're gonna go back to keto. One of the main things that absolutely I love about keto is it works. Is it a lifestyle choice that I'll stick with forever? Probably not. Is it a tool that I can use to get my cravings back under control, portion sizes, you know, just that control over my life back, to see the scale move again, to just give you that jump start, you know, it's all those things. So instead of approaching keto this time around, I'm going to approach it as using it as a tool. It is not something I'm probably going to stick with forever. I won't rule out at this point that that is true, but for right now, I don't envision it in something that is sustainable because it's extra restrictive. But when I get myself into a bind, it does help get things back going again with my, you know, with emotions, with what I can eat, with like what I cut out of my diet, what I choose to eat. And then in addition to being restrictive, the scale starts moving, which gets my head back in the game, and I feel better, and I've got emotions that are more in check. I'm happier, you know, I've got all that out of my system, and I'm going to use it as a tool. It's a weight loss tool, no different than any other tool, like going to the gym, lifting a weight, you know, portion sizes. It's a tool. So when I look at it as a lifestyle, that's where I kind of get the, you know, it's so restrictive. It means I can't ever have this. I can't. And then I start doing that self-destructive thing. Well, if I can't have it, I really want it. And then, you know, I take it to the next level. Instead, I'm going to approach it as it's a tool. Chill out, get over it, you know, like that kind of thing. It's a weight loss tool that's effective and healthier than a lot of other ways. So that's the approach I'm going to be using going forward in 2026. I'm using all the tools that I have at my disposal to overcome the obesity. The lifestyle is the ability to get up every day and change my story. That means I make better choices when I'm confronted with them. That means I'm going to plan for what I need to do. I'm going to make time for me and prioritize me. And I'm going to move my body. The lifestyle is eating how I need to eat, which means I don't have to be stupid and, you know, like obviously a bag of Cheetos or a Twinkie is not going to get me to my goal weight. You know, like it's common sense nutrition, you know. Focus on protein, back off the carbs, or actually balance the carbs and the fats. And instead of having that pendulum like this all the time, we're gonna get it in check. So the lifestyle for 2026 that you're gonna see on this channel is I am gonna use, as for my nutrition portion of my lifestyle, I'm gonna use keto until keto's not working, and I'll figure out something at that point. I'm not gonna look into it as it's a final destination. I'm going to take 10 pounds at a time and chip away at it instead of looking at the huge like 50, 60 pounds that I have to lose. I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to look at that first 10, and I'm going to use keto as my tool to do that. And then if I choose to keep doing keto, I'm going to leave that up to me, you know, because if it's working, I'm going to stick with it. If it's not working, we'll change. But taking it in like these small achievable goals will get things moving again. So in the lifestyle, nutrition will be keto. I'm going to make sure I get my walks and strength training in, and I'm going to read instead of watch the news and hop on Facebook or YouTube and live everybody else's thoughts. Like, no, I'm going to keep that all out of it because that's been working really well. I read so much. I am not on, it's part of the reason I've pulled back so much on this channel is because instead of getting caught up in that compare game and what everybody else is doing, I'm going to look back at myself and I'm going to do what needs to be done for me, not to please everybody else. So like reading makes me happy, so I'm gonna read, you know, that kind of thing. So that is like the 3-step focus for 2026. I normally wait until like January 1st to let this cat out of the bag, but I'm not gonna do that. I figured, you know what? we're gonna talk about it now, and it'll be, you know, hashed out prior, and everybody can do this with me. I'm gonna start early because I don't feel like I have to wait to January 1st to change my life. I'm gonna work on it now while I can. My parents are coming into town. My dad's lost a lot of weight, and I want to get him to his goal weight. So I'm going to be there with him for that. So I'll show you all what's going on with him. But I'm here to help support him, and I can't wait he's so close. And that's huge for him because he's battled obesity his whole life too. You guys have seen him on this channel. But to have him within striking range of his goal weight is awesome. So another reason why I'm going to get it together, because I'm inspired by him. So we'll talk about that all later. But it's just one of those things that I don't have to wait to a certain day to change your life. Every day you have a choice. Every day you can be better. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I typically like to diet through the holidays because there's just so much going on that it's like the one thing that I can control. And it also helps because I've gained a lot of weight before in holidays, between holiday parties, all the cookies, the baking, the family gatherings, the parties, you know, you can put it on quick when it's this time of year. So it's another reason why I like to dial it back and start early. Plus that'll give you guys content to look forward to if you choose to start, say, come first of the year. So that's my thought process. I'm inspired. I feel like I've got another chance to change my story. I'm holding the pen. We're starting a fresh chapter, you know, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this. But all I do know is we all have that. As long as you don't quit, it is not over. You know, it is not. You know, there's no time limit to get to your goal weight. There's no like. It's just that pressure's not there. When it happens, it happens. When the pins are hot, the pins are hot. You just got to keep going, you know? Use this link down below if you would like to get a free sample pack with any order.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat.